Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to dissect one of the most confusing, infuriating, and disturbingly common phenomena survivors face, the zombie Hoover. You are sitting there, perhaps years after the discard, years after you scraped yourself off the floor and rebuilt your life. You are finally at peace. And then, out of the blue, your phone lights up, a text, a DM, "Hey stranger, thinking of you." Remember this song? Your heart stops. Your mind races. You wonder if they have changed, if they miss you, if they finally realize your worth. I am here to stop that thought process immediately. They have not had an epiphany. They are not swimming in nostalgia. We are going to expose the dirty, transactional truth. They are hunting for a sexual supply, and they are circling back to you because they are starving. You need to understand the timing. Why now? Why after 3 years? Why after 5? It isn't because the stars aligned. It is because their current sources of supply have dried up, become boring, or have seen behind the mask. The narcissist is an addict, and sexual supply is the most potent, high-grade heroin they can find. It validates their attractiveness, their dominance, and their existence in a way that mere admiration cannot. When they reach out to you after years, they are not looking for a relationship. They are looking for a quick fix. They are looking to see if the key they kept to your apartment, the psychological key, still works. We have been conditioned by romantic movies to believe that always coming back is a sign of undying love. In the world of narcissism, it is a sign of undying entitlement. They view you as an object they put in storage. Just because they haven't played with a toy in a few years doesn't mean they relinquished ownership. They are reaching out to check the inventory. They want to know if you're still accessible, still pliable, and still susceptible to their charm. The dirty truth is that they simply want to use your body to regulate their own fragile self-esteem for a night or two before putting you back on the shelf. The sexual supply they seek is not about intimacy. Intimacy requires vulnerability, shared emotion, and connection. Narcissists are incapable of these things. For them, the act is about power over. It is about extraction. They remember the way you looked at them. They remember the way you submitted to their needs. They remember the rush of godlike power they felt when you were vulnerable with them. That is the drug. They are chasing the high of being worshipped. They don't miss you as a human being. They miss the specific reflection of themselves that they saw in your eyes during the act. This realization is painful. I know. It hurts to think that the person you love deeply reduces you to a biological function. But you must swallow this red pill to survive. If you believe the lie that they miss your conversation or your humor, you will open the door. And if you open the door, they will barge in, take what they want, and leave you devastated all over again. The dirty truth is that to a narcissist, an ex-partner is simply a sexual backup generator. When the main power grid goes down, when the new supply isn't putting out or isn't validating them, they try to fire up the old generator to keep the lights on. Think about the specific nature of their messages. They rarely ask, "How is your career?" Or "Are you happy?" They send late-night texts. They send photos. They bring up shared intimate memories. They are testing the waters for receptivity. They are grooming you all over again, but this time, the timeline is accelerated. They don't have the patience for the full courtship. They want to fast forward to the bedroom because that is where the supply is most concentrated. They are trying to bypass your boundaries with nostalgia to get to the payload. The narcissist operates on the principle of least effort, maximum reward. Getting new supply requires work. They have to mask, they have to court, they have to pretend to be human. But you already know the script. They know exactly which buttons to push to turn you on or make you melt. Going back to an old source is efficient. It is lazy. It is the path of least resistance. They are contacting you because they are emotionally lazy predators who want a guaranteed meal without having to hunt in the wild. There is also the element of degradation in their fantasy. There is a twisted part of the narcissist psyche that gets off on the idea of soiling you again. If you have moved on, if you are happy, if you are pure and healed, they hate it. They want to drag you back down into the mud with them. Re-engaging with you sexually is a way to mark their territory and prove that no matter how far you run, you are still dirty, you are still theirs. It is an act of vandalism against your new life. You are dealing with a creature of somatic memory. While they lack emotional object constancy, meaning they forget your value when you aren't there, their bodies remember the sensation of your compliance. They remember the chemistry. That physical memory haunts them, not out of love, but out of hunger. They are like a shark remembering the location of a seal colony. They circle back because their primitive brain is signaling that food is here. Do not mistake a predatory instinct for a soul connection. Today, we are going to strip away every layer of romantic delusion you might still be holding on to. We are going to look this ugly truth in the face. They want access, not connection. They want a release, not a relationship. They want to use you to prove to themselves that they haven't lost their touch. By the end of this video, you will look at that text message not with hope, but with the disgust it deserves. You will see the wolf drooling at the door, and you will finally bolt the lock for good. To understand why they come back for the specific type of supply, we must look at the aging narcissist. As the years go by, their looks fade, their charm wears thin, and their options dwindle. The new supply they left you for has likely figured them out or become boring. The narcissist is terrified of their own mortality and irrelevance. Reconquering an old flame, especially when it perceived as high value, or one who escaped them, makes them feel young again. It makes them feel potent. You are the fountain of youth they are trying to drink from. Sexual supply serves as a narcissistic reset. When their ego is bruised by the world, perhaps they were fired, rejected, or humiliated, they need a massive dose of validation to restabilize. Sex is the quickest way to get this. In the act, if they can get you to surrender to them, their brain floods with dopamine and the delusion of grandeur is restored. I am still the king/queen. Look at how much they want me. You are being used as a human antidepressant to fix a chemical imbalance in their ego. We must discuss the concept of the trophy case. In the narcissist's mind, every person they have slept with is a trophy on a shelf. When they contact you after years, they are taking the trophy down to polish it. They want to remind themselves that they won you. If you sleep with them again, you validate your status as an object in their collection. You confirm that you never really belonged to yourself. You belong to the museum of their conquests. It is a reassertion of ownership rights. The narcissist often compartmentalizes sex and emotion completely. For you, the act might be a sacred recombination of souls. For them, it is a biological function combined with a power play. They can sleep with you and feel absolutely nothing for you as a person, while simultaneously feeding off the emotion you are projecting. They are vampires drinking your love and giving back nothing but friction. This disparity is what leaves the survivor feeling hollowed out and used after a Hoover hookup. Let's talk about the void. The narcissist is internally empty. They have no core self. This emptiness is terrifying to them. During intimacy, for a brief moment, they can merge with you and pretend to be whole. They wear your soul like a skin suit. After years apart, the void has grown. They remember that you were a particularly bright light. They want to plug into your socket to keep the darkness at bay. It is parasitic. They are cold, and they want to steal your warmth. The forbidden fruit aspect plays a huge psychological role. If you have moved on, maybe married or started a family, you are now forbidden supply. This makes you infinitely more attractive to a narcissist. They love to transgress boundaries. Getting you to cheat or to lie to your new partner gives them a rush of duper's delight. It proves they are more powerful than your vows, your morals, or your current reality. They want to be the secret you keep, the cancer in your new life. They are also driven by performance anxiety with new partners. With a new supply, they have to perform, they have to impress, they have to wear the mask. It is exhausting. With you, the mask is already off. You know who they are. There is a sick comfort in returning to the scene of the crime. They can be their dirty, selfish selves with you because you have already accepted the abuse in the past. They want the lazy sex where they don't have to pretend to be a good person. You are the baseline. In their distorted mind, you represent a baseline of adoration that they measure everyone else against. If the current supply isn't looking at them with that specific deer-in-headlights worship, they crave the source that did. They come back to calibrate their ego. Am I still that good? Yes, look, she still wants me. It is a science experiment where you're the lab rat, and the variable being tested is their own desirability. Understand that this desire is often fueled by pornographic objectification. They don't have a romantic movie playing in their head about you. They have a highlight reel of the physical acts. They focus on specific things you did, specific sounds, specific sensations. They reduce the complexity of your shared history to a series of physical clips. When they text you, they are essentially trying to press play on one of those clips in real life. Ultimately, the hunger is about life force. Narcissists are drawn to empathetic, vibrant, alive people because they lack that spark themselves. Sexual energy is the purest form of life force. By engaging with you, they feel like they are absorbing your vitality. They leave the encounter feeling energized, powerful, and renewed, while you leave feeling drained, confused, and dirty. It is a literal transfer of energy from the host to the parasite. The dramatic turning point happens when you respond. The moment you type hello, the trap snaps shut. The narcissist shifts from desperate Hoover mode to predatory pursuit mode. They will immediately pivot the conversation to the physical. They will drop bait comments. You look incredible in that new profile picture. Or, I had a dream about us the other night. They are testing your boundaries. They are checking to see if the fence is electrified or if the gate is unlocked. They will use future faking to get you into bed, but it will be short-term future faking. We should just grab a drink and catch up. I just want to hold you one more time. I need closure. These are lies. There is no closure with a narcissist. There is only reopening the wound. They frame the encounter as innocent or emotional to bypass your defenses, knowing that once they are in your physical space, the trauma bond will take over and biology will do the rest. Watch how they react if you say no or set a boundary. If you say, I'm seeing someone, or I don't think that's a good idea, the mask will slip. They might get angry, call you a prude, or accuse you of being stuck in the past. Or they might switch to pity. I'm just so lonely, I have nobody else to talk to. They will weaponize your empathy or your guilt to get that physical access. A person who respects you would accept the no. A person hunting for supply will try to pick the lock. If you agree to meet, notice the dynamic. It will almost always be on their terms, usually late at night, usually at a private location. They hide you. They don't want to be seen in public because they are likely triangulation you with someone else. They want the supply without the social cost. You are being compartmentalized into the secret affair box, which is the most devalued position you can hold in a narcissist's life. During the encounter, they might engage in love bombing 2.0. Intense eye contact, praising your body, telling you they made a huge mistake leaving you. It feels intoxicating. It feels like the reunion you dreamed of, but look at their eyes. It is dead behind the intensity. They are reciting lines. They are performing the role of the prodigal lover because they know it opens your legs. They are trading words for access. The somatic snapshot is updated. Once they have been intimate with you, they have updated their mental file. They have proven to themselves that they still own you. The anxiety that drove them to contact you, the fear that they lost you, evaporates. Paradoxically, the moment they get what they want, sex, the interest begins to fade immediately. The chase is over. The prey is dead. The boredom returns. This is a cruel twist. The act that you thought would bring you closer is actually the act that pushes them away. Once the sexual supply is extracted, the narcissist experiences post-coital disgust. They look at you and feel contempt for how easily you gave in. They lose respect for you because you let the wolf back in the henhouse. They got their fix, and now you are just a reminder of their own weakness and neediness. They might immediately ghost you afterwards. This is the most brutal part of the cycle. You wake up the next morning thinking you are back together, and they are gone. No text, no call, silence. They have fed, and now they are hibernating or moving on to the next source. You are left with the emotional wreckage, feeling used in the most literal sense of the word. The silence is their way of discarding the wrapper after eating the candy. Or they might keep you on the hook as a booty call. They will breadcrumb you just enough to keep the door ajar for the next time they are hungry. You become a shelf object. They take you down every few months for a spin, then put you back. This erodes your self-esteem over time, reinforcing the belief that you are only good for one thing. It is a slow, painful spiritual death. The dirty truth is that they are not trying to rebuild a connection. They are trying to confirm a transaction. I give you attention. You give me your body. Once the transaction is complete, they have no use for product. They retreat to their life, fueled by your energy, while you are left drained and confused, wondering what you did wrong. You did nothing wrong except trust a predator to be a person. While you are suffering, do not think the narcissist is winning. Internally, their reliance on this dirty supply is a sign of their collapse. A healthy, happy person does not circle back to exes from 5 years ago for a hookup. They move forward. The fact that the narcissist is digging through the graveyard of their past proves they are failing in the present. They are supply bankrupt. They are scavenging for scraps because they cannot secure a fresh meal. The post-supply slump hits them hard. The dopamine rush from a hookup wears off quickly, usually within hours. The void returns darker and deeper than before. They realize that sleeping with you didn't fix their problems. It didn't cure their aging, their boredom, or their self-loathing. It was a temporary bandage on a bullet wound. This leads to irritability and rage. They might even blame you for not fixing them, projecting their internal failure onto you. They live in a state of chronic dissatisfaction. They are the hungry ghosts of Buddhism, creatures with giant stomachs and tiny throats, never able to be full. Hunting you down was an attempt to fill the void, but the void is infinite. They are exhausted by the constant need to hunt. There is no peace in their life, only the endless, grinding cycle of seeking validation. Their existence is a hamster wheel of desire and disappointment. The secret life creates immense stress, juggling you the new supply, and their public image requires constant lies. This creates a low-level paranoia. They are terrified of being exposed. They are terrified of the worlds colliding. This stress ages them. It rots them from the inside. They think they are master manipulators, but they are actually prisoners of their own deceit, constantly looking over their shoulder. Deep down, they know they are frauds. They know that the only reason they could get you back was by lying or manipulating. They know you wouldn't touch them if you saw their true self. This knowledge gnaws at them. It reinforces their core belief that they are unlovable and defective. Every time they have to trick someone into bed, it confirms that they are not enough on their own merits. They begin to despise the new supply even more. After being with you, the high-grade supply, the current partner seems even more lackluster. The narcissist becomes cruel and critical at home. They punish the new partner for not being you, creating a toxic environment that eventually implodes. They burn down their own house because they are chasing a fantasy outside of it. The aging crisis accelerates. As they get older, the ability to execute these maneuvers fades. The forbidden act becomes harder to pull off. They look pathetic trying to play the player. The realization that their sexual currency is devaluing terrifies them. Reaching out to you is a desperate attempt to deny the clock, but every rejection they face, if you are strong, reminds them that time is running out. They are trapped in repetition compulsion. They are doomed to repeat the same cycle over and over. Idealize, devalue, discard, Hoover. They have no free will. They are puppets dancing to the strings of their disorder. They cannot stop themselves from reaching out, even when they know it will end badly. They are automata, mechanically destroying lives, including their own, without any capacity for growth or change. The shame of the Hoover lingers. Even if they don't admit it, reaching back to an ex is an admission of defeat. It says, I couldn't find anyone better. This subconscious shame fuels their contempt for you. They hate you because they need you. Dependency is the ultimate humiliation for a narcissist. They punish you in the bedroom or with silence afterwards to regain a sense of superiority over the person they just admitted needing. Ultimately, they are alone. Even when they are inside someone, they are alone. They cannot connect. The physical act is just friction. They are stranded on an island of their own ego, watching ships pass by. trying to signal them to come closer so they can sink them. They are drowning in shallow water, and dragging you down won't save them. We arrive at the final truth. Your body is not a gas station for a narcissist to fill up their tank. It is a temple. It is the vessel of your soul. When they reach out after years, they are asking to desecrate that temple. They want to wipe their muddy feet on your clean floors. Seeing this request for what it is, an act of disrespect and entitlement, is the key to your liberation. You do not owe them access to the kingdom they burned down. You must realize that an O is a complete sentence and the ultimate power move. Denying them sexual supply is the one thing that truly hurts them. It causes a narcissistic injury. It forces them to face their own irrelevance. By closing your legs and your door, you're holding up a mirror that says, you have no power here. You starve the beast, and that is the only way to win. Do not fall for the closure trap. A hookup is not closure. It is reopening the infection. Closure comes from within you. It comes from accepting that they are disordered and will never change. It comes from blocking their number, so you never have to see that notification again. Real closure is the silence where their voice used to be. Reclaim your sexuality. Your intimacy belongs to you. Save it for someone who deserves it. Someone who sees you, respects you, and stays the next morning. Do not throw your pearls before swine. The narcissist has lost the privilege of experiencing your warmth. Let them freeze in the cold. Use the ick factor. When they text you, don't feel flattered. Feel grossed out. See the desperation. See the aging predator trying to run the same old game. Seeing them as pathetic rather than powerful breaks the spell. Disgust is a very powerful tool for detachment. Use it. Remember that every time you take them back, you reset your healing clock. You re-traumatize your body. You tell your subconscious that you are willing to be used. Stop betraying yourself. You are the protector of your inner child. Do not let the monster back into the nursery. The dirty truth sets you free. Once you know they are just looking for a fix, the mystery is gone. The romance is dead. You are looking at a junkie, not a soulmate, and you are not a rehabilitation center. You are a survivor who has work to do, a life to live, and a future that does not include them. Let them search the world for a replacement. Let them run their game on unsuspecting victims. You are out of the game. You have retired your jersey. You are watching from the stands, safe, happy, and whole. Their hunger is no longer your problem. Stand tall in your boundaries. Your body remembers the trauma. Honor that memory by protecting it. Block them. Delete them. Erase them. Make yourself a ghost of them. Let them haunt someone else. You are done being haunted. The narcissist wants your body because they cannot touch your soul. But now they can't have either. The shop is closed. The inventory is gone. And the owner has moved on to a life of dignity, respect, and real love. Leave them in the past where they belong. Starving in the dark. You are walking in the light.